Imagine standing at a very low railing, looking downward into a massive air shaft. Below you, identical, brightly lit galleries stretch into the abyss. Above you, they soar endlessly upward. This is the universe. This diagram shows the unvarying layout of every single room in this universe. Each gallery is a perfect hexagon. Exactly 20 bookshelves line 4 of the 6 walls, 5 shelves per side. The remaining 2 sides contain narrow hallways leading to identical adjacent hexagons, along with small closets for sleeping standing up and meeting basic physical needs. To the people born here, these hexagonal rooms dictate the nature of reality. They consider the shape and expression of absolute space. A triangular or pentagonal room is completely inconceivable to them. The architecture serves as a rigid mathematical cage. Every aspect of human existence is bounded, defined, and restricted by the precise geometry of these unending walls. The shelves hold millions of identical-looking volumes, each exactly 410 pages long. For a long time, the text inside appeared to be pure chaos. The pages were filled with seemingly senseless gibberish, built from an alphabet of 25 basic symbols: the 22 letters, the comma, the period, and the blank space. But an unnamed librarian observed these uniform elements and deduced an axiomatic law. Across the entire vast expanse, there are no 2 identical books. This chart shows how combinatorics apply to a finite set of symbols. If you take 25 characters and arrange them without ever repeating an entire sequence, you eventually generate a rapidly expanding tree of unique texts. It means the library shelves register all possible combinations. Because every combination is accounted for, every objective truth that can be articulated in language must be somewhere on those shelves. That includes the minutely detailed history of the future, the solution to every personal and world problem, and the true story of your own death. But alongside that one perfectly true volume are thousands of false catalogs. There are hundreds of thousands of imperfect facsimiles, works that contain a fraction of a difference, differing by a single comma or a misplaced letter. The library is a total repository. It is a definitive vault holding the records of everything that is possible to say. When it was proclaimed that the library contained all books, the initial reaction was extravagant happiness. People felt they were the masters of an intact and secret treasure. They became obsessed with finding what they called vindications. These were specific, highly sought-after books believed to contain the ultimate prophecies and absolute justifications for an individual's personal life. Thousands of these searchers abandoned their sweet native hexagons. They rushed into the narrow corridors and took to the infinite stairways, migrating vast distances to track down the exact volume that would explain their purpose. The search quickly dissolved into violence. Pilgrims strangled each other on the divine stairways. In their frustration, they flung deceptive books over the low railings and sent them plummeting into the fathomless air shafts. These searches yielded nothing but exhaustion and death. The corridors, once filled with hopeful pilgrims, began to see travelers meet their ends in the air shafts, cast down by rivals or falling in their own despair. Another superstition took root. People reasoned that on some shelf, in some hexagon, there must be a single book that acts as the perfect formula and compendium of all the other books combined. They assumed some librarian had gone through it and absorbed its contents. This mythological figure, the man of the book, became the object of a godlike cult, worshipped by those hoping to glean his absolute knowledge. To locate this venerated hexagon, someone proposed a regressive method, illustrated by this flowchart. To locate book A, you first consult book B to find A's position, but to locate book B, you must consult book C, and so on. The logic zooms out into an endless, repeating chain of dependent nodes. Attempting to isolate a singular, unifying truth in a space of infinite variations acts as a psychological black hole. It consumes entire lifespans without ever yielding a meaningful result. The crushing reality behind all this hope is that the vast majority of the universe is an ocean of senseless noise. There are entire volumes made up of the letters M, C, V, perversely repeated from the first line to the last. This fraction visualizes the probability of success. As the volume of nonsensical books expands infinitely, the mathematical likelihood of locating a specific vindication approaches absolute zero. Pitted against this unyielding volume, the microscopic searcher simply disappears into the static. That is the core paradox of absolute space. The universe technically holds every single answer, but the sheer, overwhelming volume of the surrounding data renders those answers permanently inaccessible. The narrator arrives at a final deduction regarding the physical limits of the library. He suggests that the structure is unlimited, but cyclical. If a traveler were to walk in any direction forever, they would eventually see the exact same chaotic disorder of books repeat itself, and that infinite repetition becomes, in itself, an elegant order. Decades of epidemics, suicides, and conflicts have decimated the population. In some districts, young men prostrate themselves before books they can no longer even read. The narrator suspects the human species is about to be extinguished, leaving the library to endure, solitary and perfectly motionless. The certitude that everything has already been written negates us. An infinite universe containing total knowledge reduces human agency to nothing, leaving us as mere phantoms trapped within a perfect, elegant equation.